Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'll be praying in my mind. I'll let you know when I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Council, we have an agenda this evening that's been prepared. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam Chair, I approve the agenda as presented.
We have a motion by Kenny. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion? Objection? Motion carried 500. Our first item of business are the minutes. November 7th, 2022 regular tribal council meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve.
We have a motion by Kenny. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Louis. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 500. November 16th, 2022 general council meeting. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion.
We have a motion by Kenny. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Louis. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 500. November 17th land enrollment physical resources meeting. Do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, before I make a motion, I'm not just doing this as a habit. I did come in and read these today, so I know the contents of them.
Okay.
I
Thank you,
move it,
Kenny.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Kenny. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Brian. Thank you. Well, now the mystery's solved. We're wondering how that door was opened. So now we know that all is well.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Motion carried 500. Under the ratification, 5 signatures. The first one is approved job description and org chart for tribal services coordinator. Do we have a motion? Motion by Rona. Do we have a second? Second by Brian. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 500. Number 2, approve job descriptions and organizational chart for project manager, case manager, tribal vocational rehabilitation services. Do we have a motion? Moved by Louis. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 500. Number 3, approved to advertise for 30 days, 1 vacancy to NCIA. Do we have a motion? Motion by Rona. Do we have a second?
A second, Madam Chair.
Second by Kenny. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 500. Number 4, approve advertising for 1 vacancy for 30 days to Wildlife and Parks Commission. Do we have a motion? Motion by Rona. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Brian. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 500. Number 5, approve applications for emergency grant assistance for tribal member that is over income. Do we have a motion? Motion by Louis. Do we have a second?
Second, Madam Chair.
Second by Kenny. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 500. 600. Thank you. Number 6, approve request to use allocated emergency assistance account to assist tribal member with deposit and rent. Do we have a motion?
Move it.
Motion by Eric. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Louis. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 500. That brings 600. Sorry about that. Sorry, Eric. 600.
Just checking on you, Laura.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, under new business, we may have a presentation from Dana Mestel of Fastwire Broadband. If Dana joins us or if we hear from her, we can go back to that item. We were concerned with the door not being open, but we didn't hear any pounding yet, so. Okay. The second item of business is committee membership applications. This evening, we have 3 vacancies for the Ho Chunk Inc. Board of Directors. In your packet are the applications that we received. And so one by one, I'll just take nominations based on who the council motions. So we'll just do one at a time.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to appoint Linnell Blackhawk.
Lorelei motions for Linnell Blackhawk. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Discussion. Objection.
I say can.
Motion carried 700. For the second seat, do we have a motion?
I nominate Teresa Little George, Madam Chair.
We have a motion by Kenny to nominate Teresa Little George. Do we have a second?
No, I second it.
We have a second by Louis. Discussion.
Yeah.
Objection. Motion carried 700. For the third and final position on the Ho Chunk Inc. Board of Directors, do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to nominate Lauren Buchanan.
Second.
We have a motion by Lorelei to nominate Lauren Buchanan. We have a second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 700.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard to Lauren Linnell. Get up.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the secretary to establish a meeting with the Ho Chunk Inc. Board of Directors only as soon as is practicable.
We have a motion by Brian to schedule a meeting with the whole entire board of Ho Chunk Inc.
And only the board.
and only the board. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Brian, second by Eric. Discussion.
Yeah, that's never been done before. What's the reason,
Yeah, it has been. I
Brian?
sat on the board several times when we met with the council, so yes, it has.
The agenda will be determined. I guess we'll get together on the agenda
Okay,
so we can figure out and know.
okay.
Any further discussion? Objection.
Object.
Okay. We got one objection. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Signify by raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Eric, Brian, Louis, Isaac.
Aye.
Opposed?
Wait, hold on,
Okay,
Louis.
Eric, Louis, Brian, Isaac.
Okay.
Opposed?
Rona? Oh, I'm gonna say no.
Abstentions?
Kenny, did you say no?
I'm gonna wait for her to ask for us. to
Oh,
say no.
sorry.
So those opposed?
I am.
Me.
Abstentions? Rona, how'd you vote?
You're no? Yeah.
So we
Okay.
have, you're abstaining, okay, so Rona's abstaining. So we've got 4, 2, 1, motion carried. We'll get that scheduled as soon as can be scheduled.
Just being currently on the board, never been approached.
You wanna make sure-
Just being a current member of the HCI board, that's never been approached by anybody asking, why to call this meeting. So that's why I'm abstaining, or I could say no either way, but I've never been approached.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So that
You
moves
wanna
us,
go no then?
Yeah.
Okay. She joins no, so it's
4-3.
3.
Okay, let the vote be reflected as 4-3-0. Moving on to old business, we had the Wildlife and Parks Conservation Plan. We had discussed this in a previous meeting. Do we have Jewel with us or anyone that's prepared to discuss this? Not seeing Jewel on the line.
I got a
That's
comment.
why. We'll pass it once.
Yeah,
We
this,
realized that was the conservation
We didn't.
report.
We didn't approve it
yeah, we tabled it that last time.
because there was nobody here for them.
Isaac, did you have something on that?
Yeah. So, I believe that Linnell, who's all on the line anyways, this,
Linnell won't be here, but Esther is supposed to be here.
that's it? There isn't no listeners or anything either? On the- Oh, okay. So, no, I was looking at, this, it's kind of been a hit and miss, and I think this kind of needs to be, I think it's important really, because we need to know, they're in the middle of deer season now and it's starting to pick up even more. But the conservation plan that I seen on here, I guess it's real vague, but, there's some questions and I don't think that we've got everything cleared up for some of the council members that were asking some of the questions about the buffalo, asking some of the questions about the long-term plan, because one of the reasons, now correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the reasons why we're asking for a conservation plan is because this hooks into a much bigger picture for the reservation. And I'm kind of getting frustrated a little bit with it because it's kind of like we keep trying to meet and it's not going anywhere. And we're not getting, and there's no outreach from Jewel, I guess. And I would really encourage her, if she does see this or if any of her relatives are out there, to encourage her to engage with the council, to try to find out the long term, because some of the things that we run into are seasonal issues. And one of them is non-tribal members picking mushrooms, non-tribal members coming and harvesting things that are here. And I really want to try to tighten that up, because the stuff that's here was meant for us here, and to try to educate our younger people on what those things are and how to sustain them and to keep them and protect them, such as the springs, all these different issues that have to deal with the reservation and being stewards of the land. I guess I'm trying to encourage more engagement from the wildlife and parks. I'm not saying they're doing a bad job, but I'm just saying it would be nice to hear a little bit more from them. So I wanted to try to encourage Jewel and maybe the rest of the staff and whoever that is, however the chain of command works on that, or they have it structured, but to be able to come in and let's hear from them on what their thoughts are. I have some questions on the conservation plan itself, and would like to try to be able to provide some insight on that, is what I'm saying.
So thank you, Isaac, for sharing your thoughts on that, and also the encouragement to get this done. As we said, this was a tabled discussion. So the recommendation that I have, I guess, to not be scheduling meetings to have meetings, but the Physical Resources and Natural Resources Work Group is Kenny Mallory, Coley Brown, Louis LaRose, Eric Armel, and Isaac Smith. So if you guys wanted to huddle amongst that work group and then create the expectations or maybe what you're looking for in that plan, or even just start with a list, I think Drew might need some guidance, because what we're asking for, we know what we want, but that's one just to move it along. I don't know if, you
I'm
just
ready to
named a
meet
few
with them,
things.
even though I'm not on that, because I have concerns.
Okay, so I got a list here of special meetings we have to
But I'm
send
not
out.
on that work group, but I think I should speak up for myself.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody can be a part of the discussion. This is just kind of a core group that had volunteered to take up these. So I'll get that meeting scheduled or work with you.
Yeah.
Just to.
I can set it up.
When are you available? I mean, if that's.
We
Tomorrow,
don't have
8
no
a.m.
more meetings this week until Friday.
So tomorrow.
Sorry, till next week.
Make
all the motions and adjourn and everything.
We don't have no more meetings.
So,
I'd like to-
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Louis, what'd you say?
I'd like to address the issue.
Okay, the floor is yours.
I have a lot to say, but I don't want to be hard on anyone. That's not where it's at. The first thing that I noticed, the the program has no vision.
Yeah.
It has absolutely no vision. You don't know where you're going. We started the program working with the diabetes program to provide a healthy diet for Native people dealing with heart problems, diabetes, food for the elders and food for the children. It was to provide a healthy food, and we used buffalo. We got into the intertribal bison cooperative because we were the first tribe that used buffalo as a food source, as a healthy food source. And that's where we were going along. To have a healthy Indian, you need a healthy buffalo. And you need to look at his diet and what's good for them. I've told them different times what to do. I've never seen it done. When we went to get feed for them, I couldn't find anyone that knew where all of the native grasses were. Went to the Bureau, they couldn't tell me. Went to the Walk Hill Conservation Department, they couldn't tell me. That's this old farmer. When they connect, where all the native grasses were, he started naming them off. He knew where all the grasses were. And he had contact with the racetrack where we're gonna put up our casino. He provided fresh grass for the horses. Because the horses like a lean diet. So he knew where all the grasses were. And he got them for us. So we got to take a look at the grasses, the low in protein. Buffalo, when you put high protein food into the buffalo like alfalfa, it burns up their intestines. It's too rich for them. You gotta have a food that's environmentally safe. You have to take a look at how you're going to convert lands into acreage that can be used for grazing, it can be used to feed the animals. In the the conservation reserve, the crop plan, they have acreages that have native grass. You gotta identify them and take a look at getting into a contract to get that feed off of them. You can do this when they open it up acreage with buffalo. I haven't seen them. One thing you gotta do is to keep them away from those oak trees. Because those acorns will give them intestinal problems. There's a lot of issues that you need to put into a conservation plan just for the buffalo. You can replicate it by putting into a plan for the deer, for the other animals in the forest. I would like to see fences designed where they could interact with the coyote and the other animals. They interacted before, they should continue to do that. So I think we need to get a vision statement. I have my own vision statement to restore buffalo to Winnebago Indian reservation in a manner that's compatible with the spiritual and cultural practices of the tribe. That's what I'm guided by. I think we've got to wake up. We've got to look at the buffalo as our family, as our brothers, as our sisters. I hear a lot about the Buffalo clan. They never came and helped me with the Buffalo clan. The only one was Jim Snow. Jim Snow would ask and he'd help, and he was always at the forefront when I needed help. Jim cared about the buffalo. He's driving my truck one day and the buffalo hit it. Cost quite a bit of money to get it fixed. The tribe wouldn't pay me the deductible. I didn't have a good working relationship with the tribe, the chairman. But you got to put together a plan. I'm willing to look at the four fellows. When I want to see the minutes for the All Parks meeting, which they've been doing. I got a lot of ideas that I could push, but I don't want to sound like I'm flying around in the wilderness. But things have to happen with the buffalo. There's ways you can do it. You need corral systems. You need to the pastures that you set up a system that you can use the squeeze chutes and move them over to a pasture, and you can control the buffalo, but you can look at them, put tags on them, give them shots, put medicine on them for insects. The things you can do with that squeeze chute, but they told them you have to grease it. I don't think they greased it. There's maintenance things you need to do. So, you need to know how to do that. I catch a lot of hell with buffalo not being out there in the pasture. I don't like that. We gotta get them out there. Thank you.
Louis, thank you for sharing that with us. I don't like to catch hell from you, and we talked about this many times, and we had also, in some ways, directed the department to work with you one-on-one. And so Esther's on the line now, so I'd kind of like to ask for her assistance in bridging that communication and what a high priority it is for the table to take the next steps in capturing the wisdom and the vision that Louis has shared with us this evening. I took some notes on some of these kind of probably seem like basic things to him, but he's not seeing these things happening with the program. And so, Isaac, you kind of brought the encouragement this evening. So let's just button it up for this discussion that we've been promising probably for 2 years now. Does anybody else have any feedback or recommendations on how to proceed?
I think we should just go ahead and schedule it.
Okay.
And there might be tribal members, because tonight's the mid-month, that want to weigh in too and have suggestions. Just my own comment is, Louis says the program has no vision. I totally agree. Right now, we're going through one of the worst droughts we've seen. I haven't seen this in my lifetime. And we don't know how long it's going to go. And we're very, very lucky. It's probably because we pray that we didn't have a wildfire in our forests like we could have. And the ones that we did have, we had a rapid response from our fire department and even the other nearby fire departments that came to help. There's areas down there where they couldn't even access water. They couldn't even get their trucks in there. And one of the basic management that when you're managing your forest is, are you picking up all the dead wood that's laying on the ground? That's what all them wildfires, they're burning up all them forests in California. They continue to get fueled because they're not picking up the dead wood. And then we have such beautiful trees. Who's monitoring whether they're getting diseases? Those are our relatives, our trees. And so we need to have a much more protective process to protect our trees, our relatives, and all the wildlife that lives in there, and our plant life. So I want to see a very comprehensive forest management plan. We happen to have the last pristine natural forest along the Missouri left, besides the Omaha next to us, on the whole Missouri. And our great-grandchildren and their great-grandchildren will want to enjoy that. They may have to live off of that. We don't know what's coming. So I think it's worth us to put all our efforts into developing a comprehensive conservation plan. And it doesn't happen on bullets like we saw. And maybe if our program needs help, then let's get them the help they need. So, but they need to tell us. So I'm ready for the meeting. Thank you.
In the notice, so do we need another motion for that? I believe we have a motion that we can stand on previously. We'll just get it scheduled. Eric Gypsy.
Yes, I agree with what was said on that drought. You know, water levels across the U.S. are dropping, dams and natural resources of water, the levels are going down. But as far as that meeting goes, I believe that should happen so we can have some discussion with the wildlife and parks. You know, communication flows better when you're in person instead of emails or, you know, someone failing to come to meetings when they're scheduled for meetings. And so I think that needs to happen. And if we're talking about wood or anything else aiding in any of their shortcomings, then maybe we can even do a daily pay thing to have some of our unemployed enrolled members aid in the quest of where we want the wildlife and parks to go. So that's just kind of a direction and a way to get there in employing our poorest, neediest enrolled members to help us get to where we want to be. Thank you.
Thanks for that comment, Eric. Okay, well, I got that on my list of the 3 special meetings that we need scheduled. The language meeting based on Lewis's previous email, the Wildlife and Parks Buffalo meeting, and the Ho Chunk Inc. Board of Directors meeting are 3 special meetings that are going to be scheduled. So be looking for those. That brings us to our tribal council items, and we have our general counsel with us this evening. Hello, Jennifer Bear Eagle. I almost called her Jennifer Bear. And we have the sample ballot. Jennifer provided an updated version of that. Jennifer, did you want to make comments on that?
Sure. The updated version of the ballot does reflect the last conversations that we had at the general council meeting on it, and the version you received today just shows those 2 proposed areas of changes. One is to establish a new base role, and the other has a limitation on prior enrollment for those over the age of 25. And the sample ballots are based on, so that particular template is what a secretarial election ballot administered by the BIA is going to look like. So that's the format that they use. And so I wanted to make sure that it reflected the ballots that actually would go out in the mail. So you have on the left side what the current language is, on the right side the proposed language, a brief descriptor of what it would do, and then big boxes marking yes or no.
So do we need to approve this sample ballot to start education, or what is the action?
But we want to approve it so that the communications department could put it on our social media for our tribal members to look at. And we also want to put it on our, in our Winnebago Indian News. And I think one of the, there needs to be a little bit of explanation under the part C for the education part. The members are asking, okay, so what about my other Indian blood? I don't want to lose that if I'm going to be 4/4. And so section C in the proposed ballot is the Winnebago tribe will keep your other certificates of degree of other Indian blood in your file. So that when everybody comes 4/4, my mother's Cheyenne River too. So I have her certificate of degree of Indian blood. So down the road here, if one of my great grandchildren need that, it's in my file. We're going to become the new ancestors. We're not going to lose our other Indian blood. The ancestor is going to have it in their file. And so, but I think that's the one question that the members are asking about. But I want us to approve this and put it out there so the members can contact us with questions before, so we can answer the questions.
So with that, council, you had a chance to look at the packet, and then also the updated one that Jennifer sent you. Do we have a motion?
This is over the sample ballot?
Yeah.
Okay, I was looking at some of the wording on that. On the bottom, it says, on B, that it says base roll with the new base roll as 4/4 Winnebago Indian. And so as it was saying in there that it will be in the enrollment files of all other blood, that debating if, saying that should we say 4/4 native, that all non-native blood will become Winnebago blood. And that's still keeping that recognition of the other Indian blood apparent. So that way they don't become, if they're a quarter Winnebago and a quarter Omaha and then half non-native, that we wouldn't just step over the other native blood. They would become 3/4 Winnebago and 1/4 Omaha yet. And that's just keeping that other native blood recognized. So we'd be making them 4/4 native. So that's just kind of what I was thinking, to maybe make it easier for enrollment to go about doing all non-native blood and turning that all into Winnebago blood.
I see what you're saying. So in the instance that we've kind of got our brain wrapped around is of like someone's whole bunch of different Indians, and then they're just going to be made whole, like you're just one Indian now. But somebody that's only half Indian, they're going to get hooked up with. I see what you're saying.
Yes.
So, but I guess in terms of the federal government's concern, they wouldn't even be. Like, they don't care if you're 4/4, so they don't care if you're 4th, as long as you meet that tribe's criteria.
Right.
But I see what you're saying, because they just all of a sudden become full-blood Indian when.
Well, no, we can't step on the other non-native
Yeah.
tribes. We can't step on that blood, and then to just go around it and fill all non-native blood with Winnebago blood and just fill that in. And so we still have their a quarter, like I said, for example, a quarter Omaha, and then we're just going to fill the other half in along with that first quarter of Winnebago and make it 3/4 of Winnebago and 1/4 Omaha, because we're still recognizing the other tribe, and then we're just filling in the non-native blood. So that's just kind of something I've been thinking of as we're going about this, because it seems like when it comes to making
We had this
everyone
discussion.
force Winnebago, that their other blood would be stepped on and like it's overlooked or something.
Madam Chair, can I respond?
Lorelai.
Okay. Let me just go back to this. If this is approved, everybody becomes fourth Winnebago Indian blood. But below that, under section C, the tribe shall continue to keep the records of all other Indian blood in the enrollment file of that person. So my mother's from Cheyenne River, but down the road here, my great-grandchild might want to get enrolled as Winnebago, because you still have to be a fourth Indian to get enrolled. We're not changing that. So they can go back to me as the ancestor, get that certificate of degree of Indian blood, and count it to get enrolled. And the other point is, the federal government did not enter into a tribe with anybody with the name Native. They haven't. Every one of us are federally recognized tribes. So we are the Winnebago tribe. We are the Winnebago Indians. We're not recognized. Our treaties are not recognized as Native. And so when we just say Native, that could mean a Hawaiian. So to me, we got to stand by our sovereignty is as the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska, and which entered into treaties with the United States government, and the government's ability to enter into treaties with members or tribes, American Indian tribes, is in the Constitution. So when we call ourselves Native, I just think it just negates our sovereign status as the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska and our treaties that we have. And so this ballot is not wiping out what your other Indian blood. It's keeping that as we're becoming the new ancestors. But each of us that has other Indian blood, our certificates of degree of Indian blood on those will stay in our file when our descendants may need it.
So will there vote? I don't know. Does that make sense? No. So I understand what Lorelai is saying. That's Indian, other Indian blood will be preserved, but then Eric's saying that this non-Indian blood is all of a sudden going to become entirely Indian blood. That's what you're saying, right?
And when I say Native, I don't mean to say that we're going to change our enrolled name from Winnebago to Native. What I'm saying is for us to have that understanding of us at the table is going to make that decision that all non-Native blood will become Winnebago blood. And when I say we're just staying Native, all Native, it's not changing the name. It's just meaning that we are still going to be 100% Native.
So like this person that is going to get their non-Indian blood counted, I see what you're saying as a matter of principle. Like, why would we just coop and make them that whole when they're obviously other things? That's going to be up to the Winnebago people, because they're the only ones that can be able to change this. And I think we're just trying to get it into that sweet spot where we accomplish saving the future generations. But there's going to be some of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not perfect. So I hear you.
Yeah.
So with those thoughts shared, is the table ready to approve this sample ballot, or is there more discussion to tease out?
I think it's just for the purpose of education.
Because then we can answer all the questions.
Yes.
Because this isn't approving the ballot that's going to be. This is just to start us talking about it.
To put it out there for education.
And then exactly what you're saying, like there's somebody else that's going to come to that same question, you know?
Right.
and we got to have an answer.
Well, for education purposes, then I think we should put this out to start giving everybody the understanding of the direction we're trying to go.
And the members can call or email the tribal council for questions that they have.
So with
Call us
that,
directly or email us.
is there a motion to approve the sample ballot for education purposes to the membership? We have a motion by Rona. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Lorelei. Discussion. Garen.
Hello.
Jennifer, do you have a comment?
Yes, it can wait until after your vote, though.
Okay. We have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion? Objection.
Object.
All those in favor of the motion, please say yes or signify by raising your hand. We got Lorelei, Rona, Louis, Eric, Isaac, opposed,
No.
abstention. One. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5, 1, and 1. Motion carried. Jennifer, did you have a comment before we adjourn?
Yes, I just wanted to offer that that big fire and me, I am available if you decide to hold any public forums or public meetings. We can certainly be available to join in and answer questions and assist in any way we can with the discussion.
Appreciate that. We definitely have to get a forum of such scheduled. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Madam
Yes,
Chair,
sir.
I'd like to say why I abstained.
Okay.
I've been on the council off and on for going on 25 years, and this discussion has come up so many times, and it just has never gone anywhere. But I'm appalled at how many people are getting on recently. Just large lists of people. I can't believe research has been done on that many people in that short a time. I never seen it like that before. I hope before that happens again, we get something done about this. I'm not against this, but I know there's people out there that wouldn't favor it over the policy that they're getting on right now. I don't know. There's a lot of names on there from people down south. It just, and some of my relatives live down there. The Blackfishes and the Walkers and them. Those are relatives of mine. And it's just appalling how many people are getting on our roads. And I guess it's because of our prosperity and where we're going and what the benefits are of being Winnebago. But, we're going to run out of potential benefits for our people if we continue this.
Yeah, that's a concern. And so there's definitely many factors to weigh in why we're doing this and what we'll have to accept, So I hope we can continue this discussion and get build some comfort, at least to take some action. But anything else?
I would say if we could, on the sample ballots, if we could put on their additional comments that any of the membership may have. So put that on the bottom so they can write that in.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we
good
could have
idea.
a planning meeting to have this forum and make sure it's in the shape that you want it before we talk to the membership.
Because the discussion we're having today, that,
Right off from December 5th.
yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
What's December 5th?
The regular.
Oh, the Warhorse one. And then also we have the winter gathering coming up, the 9th. That's another opportunity to talk to a lot of people.
The regular is also on the 5th.
The regular. Okay, we got a lot going on. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by.
Comment.
Oh wait, let's back it up.
Okay.
Louis has a comment.
We're gonna do that. We do that lawsuit. We're supposed to send information in. And I was sending it in. I don't know what I did. I lost everything on my computer. So I need that letter from Jennifer, and the comments by Victoria sent to me so I can finish up what I started.
Oh, okay. Do you mean that form for Thurston County?
Yeah,
Okay, I can get that printed out for you, Louis, tomorrow, and we'll just bring you a new one. So, Jennifer, let's link up tomorrow to make sure we got everybody's forms in based on that email you sent us today. Okay.
Question.
Excuse me.
We have a tribal member in here. Do we need to suspend the
I have
rules?
his form, but we wanted him to go to DHD before we visited with him. But you guys, if you want to do that, but I have to excuse myself. I got to get to a little tight basketball game. He's like this tall. He's waiting for me.
Okay.
Did you want to do that? But we did have some other information that we were, but it's up to you guys.
Is he aware of that?
Yeah, because it hasn't been assigned to an agenda yet.
You want me to put him on because he hasn't completed the going to the his grievance?
Did you know that?
No. Hey, William, we're sitting here talking about you. The form you submitted today wasn't assigned to tonight's agenda because you have to go through the DHD process before that. And so have you gone through the DHD already? Okay. You fulfill the grievance process with the tribe before you, I guess, exhaust all those remedies. So that was the direction. But I have to excuse myself at this time. I have a commitment at 6:00. But if the table would like to suspend the rules, I yield to Vice Chair. Are you on, Brian? Okay. Well, then I yield to Lorelei.
Well, I think he needs to, we require that of everyone, that he goes to HR to file his grievance and go through that process before it comes here.
Okay.
Because he was a permanent employee, he has a right to that process.
So we're still on live stream. But,
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm gonna excuse myself. So since Brian's not here, the next in line is Lorelei. So I'm gonna give the chair to Lorelei because I have a family commitment at 6:00 that I must leave for.
or I could have the table, please.
Sure.
So Willie, so with the DHD meeting, the Department of Head Directors, what they're trying to say is to follow that process. So when you end up in the situation that you're in now, if you follow the process, then nothing of that can be. They can't say, well, you jumped the gun and went right to the council. You know what I mean? It's kind of like playing chess almost. So if you follow that process, there's a chance that your words will be heard louder. We'll say it like that. But if you want to address the council, then you bypass that process. And then it's kind of hard to say, well, Willie didn't follow the process to get to the table, even though you're in the situation you're in. And I'm just trying to explain it to you. So it's kind of up to you if you want to do that. That's just your own personal. If you want to go through the DHD side of it and go through that process and to say, hey, what's everything, or what did everybody get of this versus coming right to the council? Because when you come right to the council, that's kind of like your last stop. And so sometimes I've seen other tribal members where they bypass that process, and then when it comes to the council, then they use that against them. And I'm not trying to say that anything bad about the council or anything bad about the situation that's here, but I'm just letting you know that because you asked what the DHD meeting is and what that is. So that's up to you with whatever process you want to follow. So, but we could, if you want to address the council and do that, we could make a motion, and what we would do is we would suspend the rules because you're not on the agenda, and then that would open up the floor for you to voice whatever you want to share with the council. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Well, as a close friend to your dad, I encourage you to follow the steps that we, if you come to us first, it could just end just like that.
There's nothing we can do if you go straight to us.
You said,
Thank you guys for your time and patience. I greatly appreciate your communication. I feel that I am at my last step. I'll tell you what I endured in short seconds.
No. Do you want this to be public? The whole tribe is listening right now.
That's fine.
Well, you're not on the agenda. So does somebody want us to make a motion to suspend the rules?
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
I second it, Madam Secretary.
Okay. Okay, so is anyone opposed?
I believe in
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 yes, right? Isaac stepped out.
How about me?
He didn't say he was opposed.
Okay.
No, I'm not opposed.
Okay. Eric Arnold. And well, then it would be 4.
yes.
Okay. 4 yes. Oh, Isaac, are you voting to suspend the rules?
Yeah.
Okay. That's 5.
Suspend everything.
Shit. Okay. Motion carried 5-0-0. Oh, 4-0-0. Sorry.
That's 5.
Well, remember, I can't count myself.
No, 4.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Good thing you know these things. Go ahead. Go ahead, William. But just remember, everybody's watching, and so we could do an executive session.
That's what I want.
Okay, so we need a motion to go into the to have Louis. How does that work? So Louis can.
So you need a motion
Okay.
first.
Okay, Louis. Garen's gonna move you over into a. Is he gonna get that by email?
No. Breakout.
Okay. Okay.
So we could use his vote yet. Hold on. So I'll make a motion to go in executive session to hear out a tribal member.
Second.
Okay. Motions are made to go into executive session. Anyone opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5-0-0. We're in exec at 5:54. Louis, they're moving you in. I'm gonna have a quick pause.
Take 5.
Yeah, take 5. So he gets Louis moved in. 5 minutes, William, till they get Louis moved set up so he can.
Okay.
Good. While we're doing that, we're gonna have a quick puff outside.
Only one time.
I mean, over this issue. Like the Anderson,
No,
you haven't gone to them about that.
no, I have not. I don't know how to play this, but I know what he's saying. I try to follow what he was saying.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like to me, from my experience.
tick them off. I really think that in all fairness to our tribal members, we should try to set up some kind of policy where our HR department don't give our people's past references out for employment. That's ours to keep. Other places wouldn't do that for us. And I would leave the door open for people that didn't make it here to still have the opportunity to go out there. I mean, it's okay to wound someone, man, you don't want to kill them. Because you can always heal a wound, but you can't kill with death.
Well, while we're waiting to come out, we are still waiting for the HR department to do its spotlight presentation to the council. The last two CEO reports where they're supposed to talk to us so we can ask them these questions about hiring and firing. And so that's still coming. It's just that the last two CEO reports where they were supposed to present, we had deaths. And so we didn't have the meetings. But we still are waiting for that presentation from HR. So we are going to have a chance to ask them questions.
I'm going to push that issue
Yeah.
that we do that.
Yeah. Okay, are we back? We're back? Okay. Okay,
Make a motion to adjourn, Madam Secretary.
okay. Anybody
Second then.
second? Okay, Eric, okay. Okay, everybody in support? Everybody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 500. We have adjourned at 7:04. Thank you, William. You really look nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I greatly appreciate